Just waiting if it needs to be recorded or anything.
It is recording.
It is going.
Am I there?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yes, you are there.
I cannot see anything without my glasses, so never mind. You just, if I start going out of range somewhere, you just shoot me back. Okay. So we're going to talk about Foxtrot first, and a quick review of what we did in Tango. We talked about your head position, shoulder position, chest, hips, three joints in your legs need to be working in sync at the same time. Make sure that you're not swinging your hips forward, so make sure you're using your hip joints. Can I ask you to put it down? Okay. So yeah, that's old. This is a dinosaur. So now what we have going on in Foxtrot in waltz and Viennese waltz versus tango. In tango we don't have sway. We don't have so much of rise and fall. We have compression, but we don't consider it as a rise and fall. This is something we use to gain some power. Now you actually will have sway, and we are going to talk about how to build that shape. So what sway is, that inclination of your body, but how you actually building it and what you're using, which parts and what they do. Before we start, let's warm up very quick. So your body is ready for what's about to happen. So we're gonna stretch the neck a little bit. Don't hurt yourself. Just have a little bit of a stretch. And then turn. Make sure your chin is pointed towards the shoulder. Then very flat, turn it to other side. Make sure there is no tilting. Good. And then you're gonna rotate your shoulders. Can you use you can put your hands on your shoulders and have rotation forward and back and forward and back. Now, if you bring your arms to the side, try just to roll your shoulders forward and back, up, forward and back. And you're gonna keep them back for dancing. You roll them back and you keep them, leave them alone. Then you can rotate from elbows down and fold your arms, but it should not be, nothing should be happening with your shoulders at this point. You get your frame. That's the position. Then let's stretch a little bit your sides. And one more time. Good. And then you can swing your hip to warm up, swing your leg forward and back to just to warm up your hip joint, not super high. And the other one. And let's also warm up your feet. Make a little circle. Keep your toe on the same spot and just draw the circle with your heel. Rotate, rotate. In and out. And other foot. In. Toward your standing leg. And out. Okay. A little warmer. Now let's talk about isolations in your body we have to use to dance. I will show you 4 major ones. Would like you to hold your frame like this. Just put your hands towards your chest. Make sure that that line from elbow to elbow stays parallel to the ground. And we're gonna turn head towards one shoulder, then towards the other shoulder. And again, make sure there's no tilting, very flat. When you dance, yeah, I heard that. You would turn, like let's say if you leader, you would turn your head 45, not so much, but again, make sure there's no tilting, any sort going on. Now, we're gonna get the same effect of chin being pointed towards the elbow, but we're not gonna move your head this time. We're gonna move your frame underneath your head. The whole thing, and see we have the same idea. Chin pointed down to the elbow, but that's because we did something different. We're not going to move, rotate, frame and head at the same time. Never ever. Make sure that your shoulders are being pushed down, roll back and push down. Good. Yeah, you can relax for a second. And next one would be, gonna turn your toes. Turn your toes. You don't have to lift them super high. I just showed you that I'm not turning my heels. I'm turning my toes. Because if I'm turning my toes like this, it takes my femur bone, shin bone width, and also my hips rotating as well. Try to feel that. So you're really isolating the top of your body from the bottom. Bottom is turning. I would use word turn for feet, but the rotation for the body just feels better. So you turn your toes, you have rotation in your hips going up. But make sure that your frame is not going. You're isolating the bottom from the top. And you're looking straight forward. And finally, last but not least, you will do the same thing, but you're gonna take your head with you. Your nose will be turned at the same direction as your toes, but not the frame. And turn, turn, turn. That's your promenade. Okay. Go all the way. Your frame is not doing anything. You're turning the lowest part of your body and your head. So those are, you should just practice and feel them better, because you need to use those isolations all the time. Now, moving on into the sway. So what are we going to use to make that nice, beautiful shape? First of all, I would like you to do that toe rotation one more time. Just get the feel, what's going on with your legs in particular. And then glue your shoes to the floor. Make sure that you cannot move your shoes, but you still can try to move your feet the same way. It's like you try to do this, but you can't slide your shoes on the floor. Your shoes are glued. What's gonna happen? It's gonna cause you roll outside edge to inside edge of the foot. That's what you will feel inside of your shoe. Doing it? And if you flex your knees slightly, your knees will be also swinging from side to side, and hips kind of on top will be doing kind of matching movement with your knees. But that starts from the floor. It starts from your feet. It doesn't start, you're not moving your knees, because how I know if you're faking it and moving your knees, you're gonna start doing Cuban motion for me because you will start moving your knees. It starts in your feet, and the rest of your leg and the hips just reacting on what's happening. Good. So that's your legs. This is how your sway is gonna start. Moving up, hips, They were just kind of going with. We need to let them do that. And you can think of that rotation in your hips. It is never going to go around the spine because it's rhythm and Latin. In smooth or standard, your hips will stay here in this plate. If you imagine that I have like two handles here, they will move along the bikini line, they call it this way, and you will feel how one hip bone is going higher, one lower. Yeah, they go this way. But again, it starts in your feet. Don't try to move just your hips. It starts in your feet that roll through. Your knees will go. Your hips will catch up. So let's just go ahead and swing from side to side. So if you will take side step, for example, in waltz, or foxtrot, it doesn't matter. You would start rolling through the foot, and then you're gonna catch up. Yeah, you don't have to put your heel up. Just feel that roll through. Roll through the feet. Roll through the feet. Roll through the feet. We'll come back to that later. See, I didn't have waltz with you. That's a problem because it's so much easier in waltz than foxtrot. It's okay. And finally, we have the top. What's going on with your chest? You can imagine the center of rotation, like a stick, goes through your chest. So your ribcage will be going this way. Or, if it's easier, you can imagine the dial form, the old-fashioned. So that's what's happening. So let's try to do that. Either imagine that center of rotation through your chest, so your ribcage is gonna rotate. Try to feel that center. I'm trying to show you. Or the dial. It's the same idea. Now, it will never go just by itself. It will start in your feet. Continue in the knees, hips, and chest. Ta-da! We build it. You don't have to be like a robot because it all looks like a chain of reaction. Now, I didn't mention the head. It's just because your head, you can do absolutely nothing. Zero. Let's say I'm turning my head 45 or 90, but usually it's about 45. I'm gonna do that sway. Because my body is changing position, it looks like my head is also changing. I can look up because it's just a set position for me to look up. But I changed nothing. I did not move my neck or didn't tilt or anything. So let's just do this exercise. There is a swing, it's going to be sway, and then we're going to rotate the head towards the lower shoulder. This is actually the rule of sequence of actions for the rotation of your head when you're doing sway. Oh my gosh, I just said that something crazy. So what it looks like is you're going to sway. That's my normal position. Because I'm swaying, I look up now. I'm going to turn my head towards the lower shoulder without changing anything else. And sway other way and turn my head. Sway, turn head. Sway, turn head. And sway, turn head. See how you did sway and did something with your head. So try not to. This is hard. Have I ever told you it needs to be less work? Less work, less movement. Sway, and then the good example, like where would you do it? A lot of places, but for example, leaders, part if you do international waltz, half right. You go 1, 2, 3, I'm swaying and then turning my head in the last turn. So I'm not gonna turn my frame and my head at the same time. That's gonna cause trouble. Okay, so that's about sway. Now let's do foxtrot, finally. And the reason why I'm talking about sway, because sway is a big part of foxtrot. I didn't get a chance to move on into the actual swing action with the previous group. I don't know, it should be all the same. It should be teaching identical, so we'll see. Let's take a look at basic step, which is just a feather, like a feather step forward. And I would like you to do actually both with like a feather, but 3-step without that specific footwork for the 3-step in international. Because I just want you to go forward and take a look at how you're changing your weight. It will be similar to what we talked about in tango. And also how you create that big movement. The biggest thing is that we on the count are between feet. When we say numbers, how many beats you have in foxtrot? You have 4. Count 4 beats, 3 steps over that, because the slow takes 2. You're going to arrive on the second beat. My suggestion for you how to count it would be 1, 2, and let's just try first step. On 1, you would start bending the ankles and knees and hips, roll through the foot. On 1, and on 2, you would arrive, and your weight is going to be still between feet. That's our central balance. You don't need to be over foot completely. You're under changing weight. You're giving yourself opportunity for that body flight. Then you will say, and that's when you're going to continue pushing your center through the feet. So one more time. 1, 2, and. See, on and, that's when I'm over foot. And my back foot is being drawn underneath. Let's drive both feet, starting with right, starting with left. 1, take the frame. 1, 2, still between. And so that is what kept me going. Just 1 step so far. So we do right and to left. 1, 2. And now 3 and 4, that will be quick. 1 beat, 1 placement. So on 1, you were bending, going through. On 2, you arrive, but not completely. Center balance. 3, you between feet. And 4, you between feet. And then after 4, I will say 1 again. Start bending the ankles and knees and hip joints again. To start over. So the counts. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So those ands are when you're moving. Now on 1, when you're lowering, you're still moving through the foot. Not just dropping down completely. You're still rolling through the foot. Okay, let's try that. And 1, that's bending. 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You go around 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3 between, and 4 between, down, push, and 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Heel, toe, toe, toe. Heel, toe, toe, toe. Down, push, toe, toe. Okay. Now, what I didn't talk about with the first group, but I would like to mention it here, is a swing. 2 types of swing we're going to have to deal with. And one, as you're familiar with, it's the pendulum. That's the you go like this, that's the pendulum. You never heard probably from me about metronomic swing, which has to be in Foxtrot or quick step. This way. Just remember for right now, because I know it's like, oh my gosh, so much information, but 1, 2 is gonna be your pendulum swing. And 3, 4 is metronomic. It will be like a wave. Your movement is like a wave. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's keep walking around the floor and try to apply that. So again, 1, 2 is pendulum. Over count 3, you're changing from pendulum to metronomic, and on 4 is metronomic. Pendulum and metronomic. Pendulum and metronomic. Pendulum and metronomic. Pendulum and metronomic. That just helps to create a big motion. Especially over 3, 4. That's a very common mistake. Over 3, 4, we shrink and take away from the steps. So if you imagine that down wave and then metronomic swing, that will stretch it out for you. Questions here because that's not easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2 is pendulum, 3, 4 metronomic. Once more. All right, let's do one more time with the basic. Back step is going to be the same idea. Okay. Yeah. One last time with forward basic, and then we'll take a look just to refresh your memory on what needs to be done on the back step, and then that'll be good for today. Ready? Starting with right foot. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Down. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and I see a little bit of a struggle with rotation. Let me give you the rule of sequence of actions. There has to be step, rotation, sway, and nothing else. There should be no different anywhere, unless you have something that's only dance flat, like promenades, like fall away. You're gonna have sway, right? But even if it's just rotation, it has to be step, then rotation, then sway. If we look at our basic step, our feather step, we go 1, 2, we take a step, then we continue moving, we rotate. On 3, we're gonna start making, between 2 and 3, we're gonna start our sway. Now, for feather in particular, how far you rotate, how far? Because when you want, this is outside part of the step, right? When the dance was part, it's going to be outside part of the step. How far you need to turn. If you look at in a relationship between your feet and your frame, if my feet are looking forward, my frame will be diagonal. And I'm going for, let's just take walk around the bottom. Left foot will be placed slightly diagonal. Right foot straight forward. Slightly diagonal, straight forward. Slightly diagonal, straight forward. Slightly diagonal, straight forward. Go faster. Tick, tick, tick. Keep it straight. Tick, 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 tick. Not more than that. So if you're going a little bit like skating. So your left foot in this case, this is for feather finish. Diagonal, straightforward. Diagonal, straightforward. So each foot has its own track. And because your frame is rotated, that will be very comfortable to do. Very important when you're doing outside partner step not to cross your legs. It's going to be too much. Diagonal, straightforward. Diagonal, straightforward. You can sway a little bit. Diagonal, straightforward. Just keep swaying. Don't touch anybody. I do want to. Yes. So that's your feather finish. For example, you go from promenade position. Go 1, 2. See my toes looking straight. Frame is diagonal in relationship to my feet. And then quick, quick. This is good exercise. You can just walk forward or backwards. When you're going backwards like this, because that's the power already. You're going from promenade to feather finish. That's going to be diagonal, straight back. Diagonal, straight back. Diagonal is right, straight back. Now, very quick about back step, very quick reminder. Let's try to go to the center balance again. Now we're going to move backwards by rolling on the back foot, releasing the toes of the front foot. I want it to go back and forth. Keeping your, I couldn't say that this time, but last time I did. When you dance, your spine is dancing backwards. The back of your head is connected to your spine, and this whole frame is dancing backwards and slightly up. Not slightly, diagonally up. And into counterbalance of that thing, your chest is being projected forward. So it is two-way stretch. If I only do that, I'm going to fall. If I don't do this, I'm going to be in strange position. So this counterbalance, pushing spine back, chest forward, keeping me. I'm not sure I'm on the screen anymore, but it's okay. You are. Keeping me balanced. When I go back, I need to maintain that. The spine, pushing my spine and my head back will give me power to go. But chest being projected forward is not going to let me to just put my weight too much and be back weighted and disconnect from my body. You need to keep pushing, projecting the chest forward. So center, roll. Keep bending all your joints. Get back foot. Yeah. Center. Let's go back and forth. Yeah. Keep bending all my joints to get through. When you dance, you can have momentum. You can have wide glide engaged. It will be easier when you do this. So let's do one last thing before we move to jive. Forward. Slow, quick, quick. Step, rotate, sway. And step, rotate, sway. And step, rotate, sway. That's your sequence. Step, rotate, sway. And relationship between toes, keep looking straight forward. Frame is changing from one diagonal to other diagonal. Do not turn the toes. And when you go back, just slows. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Keep pushing your chest forward, project your chest forward, spine and head back. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, roll on it. 1, roll on, different. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Reach. Move your foot further. You can straighten your knee there. Doesn't have to be bent. Reach further than roll. Okay. Enough of Foxtrot. Sip of water during this little break. And come back for just 30 seconds. There it is.
With my dinner.
Really? That's so bad.
No.
Okay.
That's because I didn't get to go home.
Oh, that's just juice?
I stopped the diet because I needed something.
Oh no,
So
I think
don't
that's
diet.
all. You need more for
No,
dinner.
I eat a lot actually. Believe it or not, nobody
Okay.
believes me, but I do eat a lot.
Interesting. Maybe you just eat very healthy.
No. Well, kind of.
I have the same problem.
I don't eat fast food.
Yeah, me too. I don't like junk food, so I cannot eat a lot of that, which is why I stay.
No, but I can eat huge steak with mashed potatoes
Oh,
and stuff. I was like, where is it all going?
yeah. Wow. Where is it all going?
I'm lucky because okay. Switching into the jive. Yeah, you saw a little bit of that. But what I want you to start doing in Latin, and I told you already, I need you to start getting your upper body involved because everything starts here. It's not just our legs and feet are doing something and our arms are flying and nothing here. It is a very wrong look. It's a stiff look. Everything you do needs to be initiated in the centers. You have 3 centers here. I would like you, no, actually, let's warm up first. Get into the jive mood a little bit. So you're going to have your spine between feet. You're going to start swinging your hips from side to side. And try not to have any compressions in your sides much, so don't go crazy. Just like a pendulum, swinging your hip. Now you're going to swing it a little bit more so you can change your weight from one foot to other foot. You can lift the foot you're taking weight from, and you can rotate your opposite shoulder, like close your opposite shoulder to it. That would be your right position with your upper body being slightly forward. Swing, swing, swing. For 1 and 2, and the 1, 2, and the 1, and 2, and. Of course, this foot is not going to do these crazy moves. Will be probably lifted or do something can be pointed, big toe into the floor. So let's try that. Step, swing of your hip, and just point. Make sure that your ankle is touching the standing leg. Step, 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 step. Now go bounce, bounce, bounce. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Just warm up your feet. Remember position ball from last time? Did I show
Yeah.
you? So we have flat, we have ball, we have toe, over toe. So when you have position ball, the pressure is still there into the floor. When you have toe, you take pressure off. So try to practice that exercise. We need it for all Latin dancers. So here, I would like you just to push your heels as high as you can. Your knees will be pushed forward. 1, 2. Get that bounce. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And shake it. gonna take basic step. You can do left, back, you also can do right, or you can try both sides because that's all good and useful. You have two parts in basic. First one is that rock step we're doing back. It's the link, it's called link. Okay. 1, 2. So now we can do it flat, or we can do it with something in your body. Looks different, right? So what just happened? What did I twist? Let's take a seat. Ottomans, that will be enough for you. I'll bring a chair, I'll show you. Should have just kept it there. Where's my audience? Right there.
Yep, you're in the screen.
All right. So we're going to talk from now on about 3 centers. So sit like this because you're going to actually do something. It's not just like sitting and I'm lecturing you. Keep your spine straight, so don't slouch. Just keep it nice and straight. Now I want you to find those 3 centers we're talking about. And it's going to be a lot in samba, ChaCha, rumba. It's going to be everywhere. First one is your collarbone. That's number 1. Center number 1. That if you just find the bottom of your rib cage and just scroll up where your ribs meet, right here, sternum. That's center number 2. And find your belly button and go inch lower. That's number 3. 1, 2, 3 centers. It's going to be a different relationship between those centers. For jive, I'm only going to take something we will need for jive today. So first I would like you to do collar, bone, and belly button, which is, I'm going to say belly button, but it's a little bit lower. These 2, so you find them, and what you're going to do, you're going to try to rotate them away from each other. So it's going to be like this way. Away from each other. So it's going to be always, your body will be twisted. You can slide a little bit with your, yeah, not this way. Keep your spine absolutely straight and just rotate. 1, center 1 direction, and try to rotate your belly button away from it. It's a little weird. You're not going to see much of it. It is feelings inside. It's that twist inside, that rotate. I don't need you to rotate your shoulders a lot. It's just that relationship. Collarbone versus belly button. Now let's get up. Let's take one thing at a time. This relationship, this rotation, this opposite motion, you need for link. You're going to wind up, use another word, you're going to wind up first. If you're doing the follow part, which is right foot back, your belly button, your lower center number 3, will rotate towards the parking lot, and your collarbone will try to rotate towards the computer. You're not going to see it. It will appear like nothing really happens in your upper body. For leader, it's opposite. For leader, you would rotate the belly button towards the music and collarbone towards the parking lot. Now, I need you to also get your foot ready. I will do both. I will do followers, then leaders. So followers first. Ah. 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 And I need you to do 2 centers. Relationships. Yes. Now, remember jive. I'm not mentioning it, but your upper body is being pushed slightly. more than the other dances forward. That's your body position. You go up. You can do that lower, or you can go higher, doesn't matter right now. The lift of your foot and knee doesn't matter. I need you to do this. So now, girls, keep doing what you're doing. Bigger. You wind up. Now, what's happening after that is always think that your hip will invite the foot. If I go now I'll start rotating my hip and it's already pushing my foot back. Oh, 1, 2. Not gonna push my head weight back. My head will stay, my sternum will stay over the toe. This is just the hip. So I'll go 1, 2. See how much more interesting that is versus just this. Okay. So wind up. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. You will be tired here, right? Now. 1, 2. Now, when you're in that position, when your foot is back there, it's not like you just wind up and then nothing. Centers are gonna keep rotating against each other. So I don't know if you see it well enough here, but it's 1. See, I am rotating. Now this center is being turned this way. This center I'm trying to turn this way. And back. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. So you're with me on this one? Okay, now chasse. Go back to seat. For the chasse, we will need center number 2 and center number 3. So those two we're gonna work with. They are going to rotate this way, away from each other. This way. One is rolling, imagine it's like a ball. Roll in this direction, not shoulders, this. And this one is turning opposite direction, away from it. They're not going this way. They're going this way now. Slight diagonal, so it's never flat. 1, and other way. 2 and 3 and 4. Now I would like you to try to dance your chasse just up here. You cannot dance you sitting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Jive is so fast, you're not going to be able to show a lot. You don't need it, but it's just so you're aware that your body is also dancing. That's where you start. Your body will invite your hip, and then your hip will invite the foot. So let's get up and try that. Just a short step. I would start listening actually. So I'll do my wind up. For 1, come back. 2. Now see my center, when I come back already, my center starts going those opposite directions. See it? Then I'm going to push my center and push it, switch, push it, and push it, switch, push it, and push it, switch, push it, then push. You see it? Yeah. Okay. So this is why when you watch pros dancing, very cool. Like, what are they doing? Like, what is this happening that they look so cool? Yeah. Because the body moves. So again, pushing, pushing, switching, going opposite directions all the time. Ta, 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 out, 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 out. Now, when you get a chance to dance this actual formula, the good exercise is to do your chasses. I wish I could show you, but your partner will follow that. If you want to go to the link, we will have that wind up and she will feel it. It just will happen. Magic. So, did you get your part? Because I'm going to do girls. If you got it, you got the idea. Yeah, and they're rotating all the time. We're gonna go over that next week is samba. Oh, I love it because that is gonna be only. And this one involves as well. So this is just remember. Try to kind of get used to the idea that body, those centers, inviting your feet to move. It's not opposite. It's not that we're doing something because a lot of people just fake it. They see something going on and they try to kind of do something, but without knowing, it's hard. It's not making sense. But when it's logical, then you're not working so hard because it's logical. It's all designed, you know, it's so weird, but when you do it right, it is so comfortable, it is less work, and you look great, and it's just, isn't it amazing? Okay, let's just do your basic step one more time. Try to get all those things involved. Wind up, and from this position, centers will start working into opposition to each other. And you can lift your feet or not, I don't care, because you can lift because that business is still there. It will be. I don't know about this right now. Ready? Let's start all together. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. A little less because then you're not going to make it with music. All in your centers. Not so much in your hips. It is a reflection in the hips as a result, but not really. Okay, questions on that part? Because let's review kicks up to that very quick, just like last group. So that we're going to keep developing. And with using these techniques in other dances, that will be helpful because it's everywhere and it's all making sense. Now, like I said, there's another kind of idea of when you're about to do some action, like that back step, right? So I wanted that rotation in my hip. I will wind up, I'll go opposite direction. 1, 2. I'm not just gonna go up. That's not comfortable. That wind up, that preparation is giving me power. If I want to swing my hip this way, what I will do? I will swing opposite direction. Prepare. So preparations are the same actions, just opposite direction. 1. But you can also think that way. For the swing, I need to go opposite direction so I can swing. For kick, it will be the same idea. For kick, which is pointing down to the ground, like nail down, the big toenail, you will have to lift. That's the opposite motion from it. So I lift to put it down. Lift to put it down. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, for your kicks to look better and be more balanced, kick slightly across. In the same line with standing foot or even slightly across. Also, what you will want to do just have a little bit of rotation in the upper body, so close your opposite shoulder to the kicking foot. That's good. One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. Now let's get involve your swing of the hip. We're gonna kick and take step to the side, and kick and take step to the side. So let's look closely at what's happening, so we don't look like tarantulas. So we have that's our preparation. Kick, or just really touch. You're not kicking. You just put your big toenail into the floor. Then lift. Almost like bring your foot down right next to your sternum cord. Almost close position. And it's very natural to swing your hip away from it, right? And then step to the side, swing the hip, and that's on center work also. Lift, point, and almost close, and then go to the side and swing your hip. One. Two, one, two, one. Because if you go from here to there, that's going to be very uncomfortable. And it's not going to look good again. So we're going to go one, close first, and then in the last moment swing to the side. One, two, one, two, one. Two, two, upper body forward, head back. Okay. So we don't have time for anything else. So let's just, if you guys have any questions on either Foxtrot, it's not here, or jive, please. Yeah.
When you do your kick, instead of you can hold it, are your kicks still square?
They will slightly rotate, yeah. It's just natural. Because if you're gonna try to keep them square, then it's some distortion, some uncomfortable. I wouldn't rotate them too much, anything. It's just it's like your body's adjusting to what's happening to make it more balanced. Making sense about centers, how centers work. Yeah, for now, like it's kind of there. Yeah. Okay. Other questions? Don't forget that in jive, your body position is not like in rumba. It is your hips are more in, like the center of gravity, or that center number 3 is being pulled in. But you cannot be in this position because it's strange. You still need to have your chest, your head up and your chest forward. So whatever you do, kind of underneath. Yeah. You can work on that if you want to. All right, guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Yeah, really.